The year was 2147, and humanity had long since abandoned the notion that they were alone in the universe. The first contact with the extraterrestrial race known as the Zorath had been peaceful, even hopeful. They were advanced, their technology far surpassing anything humans had ever dreamed of. They shared their knowledge, their resources, and for a time it seemed like the dawn of a new era for humanity. But peace, as it often does, came at a price. The Zorath were not benevolent benefactors. They were explorers, scientists, and conquerors. Their interest in Earth was not born out of altruism but curiosity. They had studied humanity from afar, fascinated by our resilience, our capacity for violence, and our myths. Among those myths, one in particular caught their attention: the legend of the Harbinger. The Harbinger was a tale as old as humanity itself, whispered in the darkest corners of history. It was said to be an ancient entity, a force of destruction that slumbered deep within the earth, waiting for the day when humanity would face extinction. The Harbinger was not a savior. It was a reckoning, a force so terrible that even the gods feared to wake it. The Zorath, arrogant in their superiority, dismissed the legend as primitive superstition. But their curiosity got the better of them. They wanted to see if there was any truth to the myth. And so they began to dig. The excavation. The Zorath chose a remote location in the Siberian tundra, far from prying eyes. Using their advanced technology, they drilled deep into the Earth's crust, searching for any sign of the Harbinger. Human scientists, eager to learn from their alien allies, joined the project, unaware of the true nature of the Zorath's intentions. For months, the excavation continued. The Zorath uncovered ancient ruins, artifacts that predated human civilization by millions of years. The deeper they went, the more they found. Strange symbols carved into the walls, warnings in a language no one could decipher. The air grew colder, the atmosphere heavier, as if the earth itself was resisting their intrusion. And then they found it. Deep beneath the surface, buried in a chamber of black stone, was a massive structure. It was unlike anything the Zorath or humans had ever seen. It pulsed with a faint, ominous light, and the air around it seemed to vibrate with an unnatural energy. The Zorath were ecstatic. They believed they had discovered a new source of power, something that could elevate their civilization to even greater heights. But the humans who accompanied them felt a deep, primal fear. They begged the Zorath to stop, to seal the chamber and leave the structure untouched. But the Zorath, blinded by their arrogance, ignored the warnings. They activated the structure. The awakening. First, nothing happened. The Zorath laughed, mocking the humans for their superstitions. But then the ground began to shake. The walls of the chamber cracked, and a low, resonant hum filled the air. The structure's light grew brighter, more intense, until it was blinding. And then it spoke. The voice was not heard with the ears but felt in the soul. It was deep, ancient, and filled with an unimaginable rage. It spoke in a language no one could understand, yet everyone knew its meaning. "Who dares disturb my slumber?" The Zorath froze, their confidence shattered. The humans fell to their knees, overwhelmed by the sheer presence of the entity. The structure began to change, its form shifting and expanding, until it took the shape of a massive, shadowy figure. It was the Harbinger. The Harbinger was not a creature in the traditional sense. It was a being of pure energy, a force of destruction given form. Its eyes burned with a cold, malevolent light, and its presence filled the chamber with an oppressive weight. It turned its gaze to the Zorath, and in that moment, they knew they had made a grave mistake. "You have awakened me," the Harbinger said, its voice echoing in their minds. "For that you will suffer." The Zorath tried to flee, But it was too late. The Harbinger reached out, and with a gesture, it tore through their ranks. Their advanced technology was useless against it. Their weapons disintegrated, their ships crumbled, and their bodies were consumed by the Harbinger's dark energy. The humans, too, were not spared. The Harbinger saw them as complicit, as weak beings who had allowed the Zorath to desecrate its resting place. It turned its wrath upon them, unleashing a wave of destruction that obliterated the excavation site and everything within miles. But as the Harbinger prepared to leave its chamber and unleash its fury upon the world, something unexpected happened. The resistance. Among the humans who had accompanied the Zorath was a young scientist named Dr. Elena Vasquez. She had been one of the few who had tried to stop the excavation, who had warned of the dangers of awakening the Harbinger. Now, as she lay amidst the ruins of the site, she realized that there was only one way to stop the entity. The Harbinger was not invincible. It was bound to the earth, tied to the very fabric of the planet. If it were to leave its chamber, it would grow weaker, its power diluted. But within the chamber, it was nearly unstoppable. Elena knew what she had to do. She gathered the few survivors and led them back into the chamber. The Harbinger was still there, its form flickering as it prepared to leave. Elena activated the structure, using the Zorath's own technology to reverse the process. The Harbinger roared in fury as the chamber began to close. It lashed out, its dark energy tearing through the humans, but they held their ground. One by one they fell, until only Elena remained. With the last of her strength, she completed the sequence. The chamber sealed, and the Harbinger was trapped once more. The aftermath. The world would never be the same. The Zorath, once seen as humanity's saviors, were gone, their fleet destroyed, their civilization in ruins. The excavation site was a barren wasteland, a grim reminder of the cost of arrogance. Elena Vasquez became a legend, the woman who had faced the Harbinger and lived to tell the tale. But she knew the truth. The Harbinger was not defeated, only contained. It was still there, deep beneath the earth, waiting for the day when it would be awakened again. And when that day came, there would be no one left to stop it. Epilogue. Years passed and humanity rebuilt. The legend of the Harbinger became a cautionary tale, a reminder of the dangers of hubris. But there were those who still sought to uncover its secrets, who believed that the Harbinger could be controlled, harnessed as a weapon. Elena spent the rest of her life trying to warn them, to make them understand that some things were better left buried. But she knew that one day, someone would make the same mistake the Zorath had made. And when that day came, the Harbinger would rise again. And this time there would be no stopping it.